I let my dad take all the blame for me refusing to see my birth mother. I'm 16 and live with my dad and stepdad. They've been the only real parents I've ever known. My birth mother left when I was little and never really cared about me. When I was around 9, she suddenly wanted to start visiting. She showed up for maybe 3 visits, acted all interested in my life, then completely ghosted me again. Same thing happened when I was 12. She came around for a few weeks, promised we'd have a relationship, then disappeared without explanation. Last month, she reached out again saying she wanted to be in my life for real this time. My dad told me about it and asked what I wanted to do. I said no immediately. I didn't want to go through that cycle again where she pretends to care then vanishes. But then everyone else got involved. My grandmother, my aunts, even some cousins started calling and texting. They all said the same thing: give her another chance. She's changed this time. You'll regret it if you don't try. She's your mother. The pressure was intense. My dad and stepdad both said I should at least meet with her once, but they also said it was completely my choice. I still said no. I have a happy life with my dad and stepdad. I don't need someone who abandoned me multiple times suddenly playing mom. But I was too chicken to tell everyone else that. So I only told my dad and stepdad how I really felt. My dad just nodded and said he understood. He told me not to worry about it, that he'd handle the family. A few days later, I overheard him on the phone with my birth mother. He was telling her that he wasn't allowing visitation between us, that it wasn't good for me right now. He made it sound like his decision, not mine. After he hung up, I asked him why he lied. He sat me down and explained that it was better if everyone blamed him. He said if I ever changed my mind in the future and wanted to see her, it would be easier if they thought he'd been the one blocking it. That way, I could just say I finally convinced him. My birth mother completely lost it. She started calling him constantly, screaming about how he was poisoning me against her. She called him every name in the book. Then she went to my grandmother and aunts, who she's somehow still close with, and told them my dad was being controlling and keeping me from her. Now my whole extended family is furious at him. My grandmother, who already had a rocky relationship with my dad, won't even speak to him. My aunts keep posting on Facebook about fathers who use their kids as weapons. They're acting like he's this horrible person. The worst part is my dad just takes it. He never defends himself. He never tells them the truth. He just lets them hate him. I talked to my stepdad about it because I felt so guilty. He smiled and said one of the best things about my dad is that he'll happily take a beating rather than let someone he loves take even one punch. He said the anger doesn't faze my dad at all, but maybe I should give him extra hugs. When I try to bring it up with my dad, he just laughs it off. He says they're only annoying themselves and not to worry about it. He acts like getting screamed at by his own mother and sisters is no big deal. Every time my grandmother calls him selfish or my aunts post something nasty about him online, I feel worse. He's getting destroyed by our family for a decision I made. He's being called controlling and manipulative, when really he's just protecting me from having to explain myself to people who won't listen. Last week, my grandmother showed up at our house unannounced and started yelling at my dad on the front porch. She said he was ruining my relationship with my mother out of spite. My dad just stood there and took it until she left. I finally couldn't take it anymore. I walked outside and told my grandmother the truth, that it was my decision not to see my birth mother, that dad was just respecting what I wanted, that she needed to stop blaming him for my choices. My grandmother just stared at me for a minute, then got in her car and drove away without saying anything. She hasn't called since.